What if I told you there's a living being so gigantic it can be seen from space? One that occupies an area larger than the whole of Italy and has been building itself for thousands of years? Welcome to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, one of the largest structures created by living organisms visible by satellite. But here's the most impressive part. The architects of this monumental work are creatures smaller than the tip of your finger. Get ready, because what you're about to discover in the next few minutes will completely change the way you see the ocean. This is no ordinary reef. This is an underwater megalopolis of 344,000 square kilometers, where more than 9,000 different species fight, hunt, reproduce, and survive in a spectacle that science has yet to fully decipher. In the warm waters of the Coral Sea, between latitudes 10 and 24 degrees south, billions of tiny coral polyps have woven a living tapestry that stretches for over 2,300 kilometers along the Queensland coast. 2,900 individual reefs, 900 islands, 450 species of hard corals, 1,625 species of fish, 6 of the world's 7 species of sea turtles. Numbers that seem invented, but are real. And the most incredible thing? You are about to meet creatures that change sex, sharks that walk out of water, fish that make beaches with their poop, and a reproductive explosion so massive that it transforms the entire ocean into a pink soup under the light of the full moon. Dive with me on this journey and discover why scientists call this place the Amazon rainforest of the oceans. If you want to discover the most amazing secrets of the ocean, subscribe now to the Marine Sanctuary channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any expeditions. Colossal dimensions, a world within a world. Let's put it into perspective. The Great Barrier Reef is larger than the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Switzerland combined. It's equivalent to 70 million football fields. And it sits right there, floating on the Australian continental shelf like a living shield between the coast and the deep ocean. The waters here fluctuate between 21 and 38 degrees Celsius throughout the seasons, the perfect temperature for coral polyps to continuously secrete calcium carbonate, building their calcareous structures at a rate of 1 to 25 centimeters per year. The reef stretches from Bramble Cay Island at the northern end of the Torres Strait to Lady Elliot Island, 600 kilometers south of Cairns. In some places, the channel between the reef and the mainland reaches 160 kilometers wide and more than 60 meters deep. But here's a detail few people know. This reef has died and been reborn at least 4 times. During ice ages, when sea levels dropped drastically, the corals were exposed as hills of eroded limestone, and large rivers snaked between them towards the distant ocean. When the ice melted and the sea rose again, new generations of corals colonized the skeletons of their ancestors. The reef's current form began to solidify only 8,000 years ago, a blink of an eye in geological terms. Each of the 70 officially recognized bioregions has unique characteristics shaped by depth, distance from the coast, and water temperature. It's like 70 different cities within a single underwater metropolis. And every inch of this labyrinth holds secrets that we are only beginning to uncover. Impressed by these numbers? Then leave a like now. Every like helps our content reach more ocean lovers. The microscopic architects, corals and their secrets. Now, pay attention to this. This entire colossus was built by creatures that could fit on the head of a pin. Coral polyps are animals. Yes, animals, not plants, with soft, tubular bodies crowned with stinging tentacles that capture zooplankton at night. But here comes the part that sounds like science fiction. Inside the translucent body of each polyp live millions of alien tenants called zooxanthellae, Symbiodinium, microscopic dinoflagellate algae that perform photosynthesis and provide up to 90% of the energy the coral needs to survive. In return, the algae gain shelter and access to the coral's nutrients. It's a pact of mutual survival that has existed for hundreds of millions of years and transforms nutrient-poor ocean deserts into the most biodiverse ecosystems on the planet. The diversity of forms is breathtaking. Brain corals, Diploria and Platygyra, display grooves that resemble neural convolutions, growing slowly over centuries until they reach diameters of 2 meters. Branching corals of the genus Acropora project delicate rods like underwater chandeliers. They are the most prolific reef builders. Tabular corals, Acropora hyacinthus, extend horizontally like gigantic tables, fiercely competing for every ray of sunlight. And here's a fact that will impress you. Corals are nocturnal animals. During the day, they retract their tentacles and depend exclusively on their algae partners. At night, they emerge as hunters, capturing microorganisms that float by. It's a double life, photosynthesizer by day, predator by night. Who would have thought that something seemingly so static hid such a dynamic routine? Share this video with someone who loves nature. Every share spreads knowledge and helps protect our oceans. The Great Spawning, the largest reproductive event on the planet. Once a year, on the nights following the full moon in November or December, something scientists literally call the world's largest reproductive event takes place. When water temperatures reach a critical point and the lunar phases align, hundreds of coral species simultaneously release trillions of eggs and sperm in an underwater storm that transforms the ocean into a pink soup of potential life. The reproductive bundles float slowly toward the surface like inverted snowflakes, tinting the waters in shades of pink, orange, and crimson under the silvery moonlight. The smell? Divers say it's unmistakable, a mixture of sea and fertility that lingers on the surface for days. And it's not just the corals that participate in this feast. Giant mollusks like the giant clam, Tridacna gigas, marine sponges, porifera, sea cucumbers, holothuroidea, and starfish, Asteroidea, take advantage of the cover of this reproductive explosion to release their own gametes. It's a brilliant survival strategy. With so many eggs in the water at the same time, predators can't eat them all. The resulting larvae, called planulae, drift in the currents for weeks before finding a substrate to attach themselves to. Many become food. Few survive. But those that do are enough to renew the largest reef system on the planet. This phenomenon was only discovered by science in 1981. Imagine, humanity walked on the moon before discovering that this happened right here on Earth every year under our noses. Want to see more incredible phenomena like this? Subscribe to the Marine Sanctuary. New videos every week about the hidden wonders of the oceans. Clownfish, the truth that Hollywood didn't tell. Remember Nemo? Forget what you learned from the movie, because reality is much stranger. The clownfish, Amphiprion ocellaris, lives inside the venomous tentacles of sea anemones, Heteractis magnifica and Sticodactyla, structures that paralyze and kill any other fish in seconds. How does it survive? Its body is covered by a special layer of mucus that tricks the anemone's sensors, making it think the fish is part of itself. In exchange for protection, the clownfish cleans the anemone, circulates water between its tentacles, and attracts unsuspecting prey to be devoured. It's a mutually beneficial agreement that has worked for millions of years. But here's the twist that no children's film dared to show. All clownfish are born male. All of them. Each anemone houses a family group with a single dominant female, a breeding male, and several smaller males patiently waiting their turn. When the female dies, the breeding male undergoes a complete and irreversible sexual transformation, becoming the new female. The largest of the juvenile males then becomes the new breeder. This phenomenon is called sequential protandric hermaphroditism. In other words, if the film were scientifically accurate, when Nemo's mother died, his father would have become his new mother. Hollywood clearly thought the audience wasn't ready for this conversation. But nature doesn't care about what we find comfortable. It simply works in the most efficient way possible. Did you know about this twist regarding Nemo? Leave a comment. And if this fact surprised you, imagine what's coming next. Keep watching. Parrotfish. The beach makers. You know those fine white sand beaches you see in photos of Australia? I have news that might change your perspective forever. A good portion of that sand is fish poop, specifically parrotfish poop, family Scaridae, genera Scarus and Chlorurus. These vibrantly colored fish have fused jaws that form a powerful beak, and they spend all day scraping algae and coral polyps from the rocks. The sound is unmistakable, a constant crack-crack that divers can hear from dozens of meters away. Each bite removes fragments of coral that are processed by the digestive system and excreted as fine, white, pure sand. Now consider this number. A single adult parrotfish produces up to 360 kilograms of sand per year. Multiply that by millions of individuals over thousands of years, and you understand where the beaches and sandbanks that dot the reef system come from. But wait, there's more. Some species have developed a bizarre nocturnal habit. Before sleeping, they secrete a cocoon of transparent mucus around their entire body, a protective bubble that masks their scent from nocturnal predators like moray eels, family Murenidae, and sharks. In the morning, the cocoon dissolves and the fish wakes up protected. It's like sleeping inside an invisible sleeping bag that makes you undetectable. Evolution really thinks of everything. You'll never look at the sand on the beach the same way again, right? Send this video to that friend who needs to know this. Share now. Sea turtles, survivors of 100 million years. When an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, sea turtles had been swimming in the oceans for at least 55 million years. They saw the dinosaurs born, dominate, and die, and they kept swimming. Today, 6 of the 7 surviving species call the Great Barrier Reef home. The green sea turtle, Colonia midas, with its shell up to 5 feet long and weighing over 180 kilograms, grazes peacefully in the seagrass meadows. The hawksbill sea turtle, Eretmocheles imbricata, plucks sponges from coral crevices with its pointed beak. The loggerhead sea turtle, Caretta caretta, crushes mollusks with its powerful jaws. Each species has found its niche, its specialty, its way of surviving for over 100 million years. Rain Island, at the northernmost tip of the Great Barrier Reef, is home to the world's largest nesting colony of green sea turtles. Between October and March, tens of thousands of females emerge from the sea under cover of darkness, drag their heavy bodies across the sand, dig nests with their hind flippers, and lay between 100 and 150 eggs each. Six to 8 weeks later, the hatchlings emerge and make a desperate race to the sea, while seagulls, ghost crabs, occipode, and other predators try to intercept them. The statistics are brutal. Of every 1,000 hatchlings, only 1 will reach adulthood. 1. Each mature turtle you see swimming peacefully has won a survival lottery with odds of 1,000 to 1. They are natural survivors. Excited by the turtle's journey? Give it a like to celebrate these incredible survivors. Your like makes a difference. Gentle giants, manta rays, and whale sharks. In the deep waters beyond the reef's edge, colossal shadows move with grace impossible for their size. The oceanic manta ray, Mobula birostris, can exceed 7 meters from tip to tip, the wingspan of a small bus. But here's the paradox. This giant feeds on microscopic creatures. Its cephalic lobes direct streams of plankton-laden water to filtering gills that process thousands of liters per hour. And guess what? Manta rays have the largest brain-to-body ratio of any fish. They recognize individual divers, demonstrate genuine curiosity, and seem to enjoy interacting with humans. This isn't anthropomorphism. It's documented scientific observation. And then there's the whale shark, Rhincodon typus, the largest fish in the world, with records of individuals exceeding 12 meters in length. 12 meters, the size of a 4-story building lying on its side. But despite its frightening name and intimidating size, this leviathan is completely harmless to humans. It feeds exclusively on plankton and small fish, swimming with its mouth open through nutritious patches like a real whale. Its blue-gray skin is dotted with constellations of white spots unique to each individual, a natural fingerprint that allows scientists to identify specific animals over decades through photogrammetry. Encounters with whale sharks in the Great Barrier Reef are rare and unpredictable, making each sighting a gift from nature. Want to learn more about ocean giants? Subscribe and turn on notifications. We have amazing videos about the largest marine creatures on the planet. Humpback whales, songs louder than airplanes. Between May and November, approximately 10,000 humpback whales, Megaptera novaeangliae, leave the icy waters of Antarctica and swim more than 5,000 kilometers north. Their destination? The protected bays of the Great Barrier Reef. The reason? Love, birth, and survival. Adult males, weighing up to 40 tons and measuring 15 meters, perform underwater songs that can last for hours, sound compositions that travel hundreds of kilometers across the ocean. And here's an impressive fact. A humpback whale song can reach 187 decibels. A Boeing 747 on takeoff emits about 140. These whales are literally louder than jet planes. Pregnant females seek sheltered anchorages to give birth to calves that are born 4 to 5 meters long and weighing about 1.5 tons. The newborn consumes up to 500 liters of breast milk per day, a liquid with more than 50% fat that allows for a weight gain of up to 4 kilograms per hour. Yes, per hour. In a few weeks, the calf accumulates enough fat for the long journey back to Antarctica. The population recovery of Australian humpback whales is one of the great success stories of conservation. After commercial hunting reduced their numbers to less than 500 individuals in the 1960s, today there are more than 40,000. The population grows by about 10% per year. When we protect, nature responds. Did this recovery story inspire you? Then share this video. Stories of hope need to be told. Dugongos, the royal mermaids of the sea. Imagine being at sea for months, sleep-deprived, malnourished, perhaps a little drunk. You spot a female form emerging from the waves, Flowing hair, soft curves, graceful movements. Mermaids? Well, not exactly. For centuries, sailors have mistaken dugongs, dugong, for mermaids, which says a lot about the living conditions on ancient ships. The dugong is a distant relative of the elephant, belonging to the order Sirenia along with manatees. It weighs up to 400 kilograms and feeds exclusively on seagrass, Halophila and Zostera. It is the only strictly herbivorous marine mammal on the planet. And the Great Barrier Reef is home to about 10,000 of them, one of the largest remaining populations in the world. The dugong's vulnerability stems from its absurdly slow reproductive biology. Females reach sexual maturity only at 10 years of age and produce a single offspring every 3 to 7 years after a 13-month gestation period. The offspring remains with its mother for up to 2 years, learning migratory routes and feeding grounds that the family has used for generations. This cultural transmission of knowledge makes populations especially vulnerable. When the elders die, the geographical knowledge dies with them. Their slow swimming and preference for shallow waters also expose them to collisions with boats. Each dugong lost represents decades of wasted reproductive investment. They are animals that cannot afford to be in a hurry. Now you know the real mermaids. Leave a like if you learned something new today. Your support motivates us to create more content. And the whole system collapses. They are not villains, they are guardians. And now, the creature that will blow your mind, the epaulet shark, Hemicillium ocellatum. This tiny shark, measuring only 90 centimeters, has developed something no other shark on the planet possesses, the ability to walk out of water. When trapped in tide pools during low tide, where oxygen levels drop drastically, it reduces its metabolism by up to 70%, lowers its heart rate, and literally walks on its fins from pool to pool, surviving for up to 3 hours in conditions that would kill other fish in minutes. Scientists filmed these sharks traversing stretches of dry rock between pools. A shark, walking. If that's not proof that evolution is creative, I don't know what is. A shark that walks! Would you believe it if you hadn't seen it? Comment below, which creature has surprised you the most so far? Giant clams, living jewels of Recife. Scattered across the sandy substrate, creatures that seem straight out of a science fiction film boast colors that rival any human work of art. The giant clams of the species Tridacna gigas are the largest bivalve mollusks in the world, reaching up to 1 meter and 20 centimeters in length and weighing over 230 kilograms. Their fleshy mantles display unique patterns of electric blues, vibrant greens, deep purples, and iridescent golds, each individual as unique as a fingerprint. These colors come from the symbiotic zooxanthellae in their tissues, the same algae that live in corals. and they can live for over 100 years attached to the same place, filtering water and basking in the sun to feed their internal algae. Legends from the South Pacific described giant clams capable of trapping and devouring divers. Ancient nautical manuals warned of the danger. The reality? Completely different. Their valves close so slowly that anyone would have plenty of time to escape. It takes about 30 seconds to close completely. They are absolutely harmless animals that spend their entire lives filtering plankton and performing photosynthesis through their internal algae. Today they face real threats in the form of illegal harvesting for food and the shell trade, as well as habitat degradation. Some species are classified as vulnerable by the IUCN. Conservation programs work to protect them, because losing these living jewels would mean losing an irreplaceable piece of planetary biodiversity. Have you ever seen such incredible colors in nature? Send this video to someone who needs to see these living gems. Share. Nudibranchs, colorful assassins. If there's an award for the most underrated animal in the ocean, nudibranchs, order Nudibranchia, deserve to win. These shell-less sea slugs look like they've been painted by an artist in a creative outburst. Flaming oranges, metallic blues, neon purples, stripes, polka dots, impossible geometric patterns. More than 3,000 known species, ranging from 4 millimeters to over 60 centimeters. Species like Chromodorus loci display electric blues, while Nembrotha kubariana boasts vibrant green and orange. Glaucus atlanticus, the blue dragon, floats upside down on the ocean's surface. And all this chromatic exuberance is no accident. It's a warning. Eat me and you die. That's basically what the colors are saying to any predator with functioning eyes. The secret to the nudibranch's chemical arsenal lies in their diet. By consuming toxic sponges, porifera, hydroids, hydrozoa, and poisonous anemones, these slugs not only tolerate the poisons, but steal them and concentrate them in glands distributed throughout their skin. Some species go even further. They store unfired stinging cells from their prey, nematocysts, and reposition them in dorsal structures called serrata. They literally recycle their victims' weapons. Pharmaceutical researchers are intensively studying the compounds produced by nudibranchs, hoping that these molecules may yield drugs against cancer and resistant infections. It is possible that the cure for future diseases is hidden in the body of a colorful slug crawling along the Australian seabed. Slugs that steal weapons. Nature is amazing. If you're loving this content, subscribe now and join our community. Sea snakes, lethal venom, docile temperament. 14 species of sea snakes, family Hydrophidae, glide through the waters of the Great Barrier Reef. Predators with neurotoxic venoms more potent than those of any land snake. The beaked sea snake, Enhydrina schistosa, possesses one of the most lethal venoms in the animal kingdom. The olive sea snake, Iposaurus laevis, is the most common on the reef. Their flattened tails function as efficient paddles, propelling bodies up to 2 meters long through the currents. Most hunt eels and small fish in the reef crevices, using small fangs and devastating venom to quickly immobilize their prey. But before panic sets in, attacks on humans are extremely rare. These snakes generally have a docile temperament and fangs too small to penetrate a standard wetsuit. The evolutionary adaptations are extraordinary. Their ventral scales, enlarged in terrestrial snakes for crawling, have drastically reduced to improve hydrodynamics. Special glands under the tongue, called salt glands, excrete excess salt absorbed from seawater. Nasal valves seal the nostrils during dives that can last more than 2 hours in some species. A single elongated lung extends almost the entire length of the body, maximizing oxygen capacity. And some species have developed cutaneous respiration, absorbing up to 25% of their oxygen directly through the skin, supplementing pulmonary respiration. These are snakes that abandoned the land millions of years ago and completely rebuilt their physiology to conquer the ocean. Snakes that breathe through their skin and dive for hours. Evolution is amazing. Leave a like if you're impressed. Seahorse. Pregnant parents. Among the soft coral stalks, fantastic-looking creatures cling with prehensile tails. Seahorses. Family Syngnathidae, genus Hippocampus, represented by 9 species on the Great Barrier Reef, including the tiny pygmy seahorse, Hippocampus bargibanti, of only 2 centimeters, perfectly camouflaged among gorgonians. The pot-bellied seahorse, Hippocampus abdominalis, can reach 35 centimeters. But what makes these animals truly extraordinary is not their appearance, it is their reproduction. Males possess a brood pouch called a marsupium, where females deposit their eggs through a specialized tube called an ovipositor. From that moment on, pregnancy is the sole responsibility of the father. He carries the embryos for 2 to 4 weeks, regulates the chemistry of the internal fluid, and prepares the offspring for the salinity of the ocean. Childbirth is a spectacle. Rhythmic muscle contractions expel dozens or hundreds of perfect miniature versions of the adult, each measuring only a few millimeters, but completely independent, capable of swimming, eating, and immediately escaping predators. The survival rate is brutal. Less than 1% reach adulthood. To compensate, males can become pregnant again almost immediately, sometimes on the same day as giving birth. And many species form monogamous pairs that reunite daily for synchronized mating rituals, dancing together at dawn. It's a complete reversal of traditional reproductive roles, and it has worked for over 40 million years. Parents getting pregnant. Nature breaks all the rules. Comment which fact surprised you the most in this video. The future of Recife, hope or tragedy? Let's be honest, the largest coral reef ecosystem on the planet is in danger. 6 mass bleaching events since 1998, with the worst in 2016, 2017, 2020, and 2024. More than half of the coral cover has been lost since 1995. When temperatures rise beyond tolerable levels, just 1 to 2 degrees above average, the polyps desperately expel their symbiotic algae, becoming white, hungry, and vulnerable. Without their photosynthetic partners, they die within weeks. Ocean warming is not a future theory. It's a present reality, documented, measured, and photographed. The scars are there for anyone who wants to see. But the story doesn't end there. Amidst episodes of destruction, the reef demonstrates remarkable resilience. New colonies emerge, nourished by annual spawning and currents that transport larvae from healthier areas. Scientists at the Australian Institute of Marine Science cultivate heat-resistant corals in the laboratory through assisted reproduction. Teams manually remove millions of crown-of-thorns starfish, Acanthus sterplancy, that devour polyps during population surges. Experimental shading techniques with sea salt particles protect critical formations during heat waves. The Reef Restoration Foundation transplants coral fragments to degraded areas. The fate of the Great Barrier Reef is not yet sealed. It depends on global choices about carbon emissions. It depends on conservation policies. It depends on each of us understanding that this living labyrinth deserves to exist. The question is not whether we can save it. The question is whether we will choose to do so. The future of Recife is in our hands. Share this video. Awareness is the first step towards change. You've just plunged into one of the most extraordinary ecosystems Earth has ever produced. You've seen walking sharks, fish that make beaches, whales that sing louder than airplanes, and creatures that change sex on demand. You've met slugs that steal weapons, mermaids that are cousins of elephants, and turtles that survived the dinosaurs. The Great Barrier Reef isn't just a tourist destination or a documentary subject. It's living proof that nature is infinitely more creative, resilient, and surprising than any human fiction. If this content expanded your mind and touched your heart, please like this video now. It helps the algorithm show our videos to more people who need to know about these wonders. Subscribe to the Marine Sanctuary channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our expeditions across the world's oceans. Share this video with someone who loves nature. Every view, every subscription, every share strengthens our mission to bring scientific knowledge and environmental awareness to millions of people. The ocean needs voices to tell its stories. Be one of those voices. See you on the next dive. Subscribe, like, share, comment.